evening, Don. How you doing, Don?
Marcus, I am doing great, sir. What do you do?
What it do, man? Enjoying this lovely fall Thanksgiving month. Get ready to do this thing for the end of 2024.
Yeah, we are winding down for the year, man. It's been a great year.
It
Great
actually,
thing.
it actually has been a wonderful year. You know, it was just FYI it was year of the dragon.
Yeah.
For people that were born like in the 76, 2000, all that. If you into the Chinese zodiac.
2000.
Oh, see, there you go. So now, you know something.
Yeah.
Let's jump in. Let's tell them what today's topic is.
Today's topic is I got 99 problems. Is my relationship one? Discussing common issues men have in relationships or apprehensions entering a relationship. So
Hmm.
this should be a good conversation. We're leaning heavy on the men's side here because it is a man's world, but we just got to address some of the issues that I think needs to be
Don't
talked about.
hey, don't get me messed up later on like tomorrow's a man's world. You better
As
be
long
you
as
better be quoting James Brown.
I am quoting James Brown, but as long as you cook them fried, you speak good, man.
I ain't laughing. I ain't laughing, son. I got
Okay.
99 problems, but me get my ass kicked by my wife ain't one.
There you go, sir. Yeah, we ain't worry about no trademark infringements there.
Yeah. I feel
Yeah,
bad for you, son.
let's do this thing, sir.
Yeah. Before we do that, let's go ahead and do some the disclaimer real quick and I'll do some introductions.
All right, so let's get this disclaimer, which is data from the real. I'm looking for it here. The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are those of the host and guests and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of Data from the Real. Any content provided by our guests or host is their opinion and not intended to malign any religion, ethnic group, club, organization, company, or individual.
Right
Sir.
on.
Mm-hmm.
So, with that being said, I'm your host, Marcus Goodwin. That's my co-host, Don Jr. Lilly himself, Mr. Poet
Mm-hmm.
Extraordinaire, publisher.
Yes,
And this is
sir.
and this is Data from the Real, where we talk about keeping it real, talk about dating, talk about relationships, coming from regular people.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, we here to keep it positive and keep it focused, keep it moving.
Yeah.
Because this is how we do things. We discuss some of the everyday things, some of the not everyday things. We try to offer our outlooks and unique perspectives, and make sure we keep it on the upkeep, on the uptick, keeping it
Mm-hmm.
positive for everybody out there. We ain't trying to make nothing seem derogatory. That's not what we do. It's too much of negativity about relationships and dating and being single, because we can't forget the single, because there's nothing wrong being single. I enjoyed being single when I was single. Hey, that's what you want to do. That's what you want to do. I just love life.
Gotta love life.
All right. So now the topic. I got 99 problems. Is my relationship one? Question mark.
Indeed, it's a question mark
Yeah.
because what we're trying to determine the problems that men face in a relationship is the relationship itself the problem. Because, as Marcus indicated, we're covering topics of relationship pertaining to men and women. So if you think about a man's perspective when he's going into a relationship, there are wants, there are needs, there are desires, there are goals, there are aspirations. And we try to find balance within that independence of living life and balance within the relationship itself. Because there are challenges that men face when they are in relationships as trying to determine when we can do our thing and when doing our thing becomes the issue at hand, because it may seem at times when I'm gonna hang with the fellas. Oh, you gonna hang with the fellas? You're not gonna be with me tonight, but yet you can be with your lady 6, 7, 8 days out of a week and sometimes that still seems like it's not enough. Not saying that that's an issue. It's we have to find that balance between what our independence is, what we like to do, what our goal aspiration is, and also being there for your partner as needed. What do you think about balancing that, Marcus? In your aspect, how did you address balancing that?
That's actually pretty tough. You know,
Agree.
because in the beginning, you always want to be, you tend to want to be around that such person all all the time until till that peak that you're at, it kind of plateaus,
Yeah.
and then you have to re-encompass everything in there. Now,
Hmm.
there's also my independence and everything. Also, you have to take in consideration of the person you're with. Um,
So true. So
One of the
true.
things that you have to determine when you're in that dating phase, how much time does your significant or the woman you're pursuing needs, and because that carries over,
It does.
you know. And this is one of the things that men will sometimes think about is like when sometimes we get in a relationship, they think about, oh, things going to change. What
Hmm.
was cool before ain't cool now. Where
Yeah.
at maybe at the beginning she didn't require that much time.
Hmm.
As we started getting closer, she started wanting more and more of your time.
Making some good
And
points there.
yeah, so that independence, but this is where the conversation come in, and we have to be, as my wife like to say, uh, what she did she say, emotionally mature. Anyway, you have to be emotionally mature to be able to have those conversations and understand and talk and say, hey, this is what I like to do. You knew, and this is the common thing that said, you knew that when you met me.
You bring up some good points there. Starting with you knew that when you met me, and that is subliminal because when you meet a person, you do want to give them the consideration of spending time with them. You want to let this person be aware that, hey, I'm into you. I'm pouring into you. I want to know your likes, your dislikes. See if we like the same food, same things as movies, or or where we like to go, or date nights. But then it comes to that point where you may feel as a guy, I'm giving them too much of me time to pour into this we time. And the female may have met you when you like to go play basketball at the rec every Thursday night. So you knew that when you met me, and then all
She
of a sudden out the
she saw
blue,
something in the basketball shorts in you, huh?
yeah, and all of a sudden out the blue, I'm putting on these basketball shorts again. I got these gray sweatpants on because it's a little chilly outside, and you're like, "Where you going with that on?" Hey, you knew me when you met me. You know how I swing, so I'm about to go ball, and you're like, "Oh, you ain't going ball tonight." So now you got a whole argument because of the fact being emotionally mature has to be discussed, but also you have to make sure the person that you're dating is of sound mind, because you get a crazy one on the left eye, you burn your place down. When you come back, you ain't got no house. As Andre Rising, how that turned out. But yeah, you think about emotionally balanced, but also the person has to be of sound mind. They have to be able to rationalize and understand that this is a whole human being here. I can't sit here and have this man caged in the house and expect him to wear plaid clothes all the time. He's gonna put them gray sweatpants on. He's gonna get out there and make sure he still got it. Shooting
Yeah,
basketball on the court, we talking about.
yeah,
I
please.
mean, yeah,
Yeah, so that's in it. But the independence is necessary, and she probably needs on the same wavelength that she needs her time to be independent, or not so dependent on what you're doing.
yeah.
Hell, every so often she get tired of you.
You agree. There has to be personal hobbies and interests. Like, okay, what was she doing before she met you? Did she have any goals, desires to do things that didn't always include a couple? Was she crocheting with the ladies? Was she going to tea time on Sundays and having mimosas at, at brunch, whatever it may be, right? you may have a career goal that you may want to pursue later in life, and you have to have those things that allow you to be you, or within your you time, because it's 24 hours in a day. And if anybody's sitting in the building about 24 hours, you're gonna get tired of them pretty fast if they don't have anything to to add to the relationship other than looking at you all day.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I somewhat agree with you.
Hmm.
At the same time, we can't say that is a universal goal.
Correct. You're
Because there are
correct.
some people out there, some couples out there who mesh like that, where they like to spend every waking moment with each other. You know, from the time I open my eyes to the time I close my eyes,
Now,
I want.
somebody gotta make some money.
Hmm.
Somebody gotta make some money.
He could be on OnlyFans and she could be the camera woman. I don't know.
Hey, if that works, at least you see that's the career aspiration. You're not just sitting there looking at me and waiting for me to move and ask me where I'm going. You're actually, even in that situation, you're doing something. You're contributing, right? Because somebody got to hold the camera, right?
Yeah, but
Somebody got to be
it's
the fluffer. All
so.
right.
Let me see how much Triple X stuff have you watched in your time to know these names? You sure was a production manager for a
Whoa.
Brian Jeremy feature.
Hey, to be honest and to be transparent here, I once dated a lady who used to be a fluffer for the Playboy Bunnies. So she would tell me these stories, and they were very intriguing stories in regards. But beyond that, I don't know about no Ron Jeremy and all that. But
Hey, wait a minute. It's
Hugh
funny how
Hefner.
hold on. I ain't gonna let that shit slide. It's funny how your voice just got deep. Yeah, I used to date a lady who was a fluffer and started kiki. What the hell ever, man? she,
Long, long, long
she,
time ago. Long,
yeah,
long
yeah,
time
okay.
ago. Yeah,
Let
but
sleeping dogs lie.
as D, don't wake that dog up. But yeah, it's me time versus we time. I have personal hobbies. Being a writer, you need that creative space. Interests of being an author, you have to be able to contribute what you're writing to a audience that's accepting of your material. And then the career goal is to achieve greatness within my own realm, but also the greatness will encompass what we are doing together as a couple. So sometimes you have to allow the man to be a man in order to see the greatness that will help everyone in the long run. Don't cut him
Right.
short because of maybe uh, jealousness or insecurities that you thinking every time he leaves the house he's wearing gray sweatpants. That's not an everyday thing. It's maybe once on Thursday nights. You going to the gym.
Yeah. Man, you stuck on them gray sweatbands, but you got yours framed in a frame hanging on the wall.
No, I'm thinking fold up and put in the dresser.
So let me hit you with one.
All right.
All right, so now I'm gonna hit you with one. One of the things a man be maybe apprehensive about and why he may not enter a relationship.
Okay. Let's hear it.
Tell me if you ever heard this one. All women are the same.
Yes, I have heard that.
You know, a lot of times it could be because the person might have bad breakups, um, things he's seen women do, but more so he hasn't fully mentally healed from a previous relationship. We often say, as guys, often say a woman scorned or she got some shit, and she got that shit going on. Men are just as bad. The problem is men are very introverted with it. They like to hold it in, and in turn make that toxic energy, that all that rot is souping out and making thinking all women are bad. Or future partners are the same.
Hmm.
And because we're not doing the work that we need to deal with the past,
Hmm.
we can't embrace a future partner.
You're bringing up some good points there.
Yeah. So, what you think about that one?
Let me share some intellect with you. I like to say I've gained wisdom over the years just from understanding life. When when in my younger years I would hear men say all women the same, I didn't entertain that, but I just put that into a compartment box and close it off. Now that we're talking about it here and I'm reflecting back, when men say not all women are the same, it's because they're not exposed to a variety of situations. So let me try to clarify. Growing up, when I was younger, I moved from a country town to Dallas. Being exposed from a small town to a big metropolitan area, you don't just necessarily go and all of a sudden now you're living with the Joneses. You are in a secluded area, and within that area, your environment, you're only exposed to it. Maybe certain type of females. I remember growing up listening to certain songs when back in those days, it seemed like it was cool to call women names, B's and H's and all things like that. So you think about the type of women a man would expose himself if all if you're calling women B's and H's, you think every woman is a B and H. When you get out of
Mm,
that environment and mentality and you're exposed to a more subset, more realistic approach of society, you can see that not all women are B's and H's. There will be some within that enclosed space because they themselves have not elevated themselves to another level. But when you get out of that realm, expose yourself to other cultures, other society situations, you can say, oh, now I have a bigger pool to choose my resources from in reference to dating. So I no longer think all women are bees because I know there are other women out there who have different attitudes, different beliefs, different ideas. And now you can go from not healing from a previous relationship because that relationship was toxic to seeing that there is potential in a mate who has something to give back and not just looking at you as a dog and calling you names. And that makes that discussion even more valid to be heard because you're only exposed to what's around you. You have to get beyond that in order to understand the world is bigger than just our inner circle bubble. So if you go into projects, right, that's all people know, right? But then if you get exposed to other worldly things, you can see that there's opportunity out there. Not saying that in a negative way. There's more validity and understanding personalities because people have more meaningful dialect than just cussing every two or three words or limited vocabulary because they have not exposed themselves to culture norms. So it's a little different when you look at it in that aspect.
yeah, I gather what you're saying. Now, on two parts, on two levels. One about your environment dictates how you view the world, but also art affects how you view the world. When you was talking about the music, we know, hey, we know we're a product of the '90s movement of music,
Mm-hmm.
late '80s, '90s music, and gangster rap and all that. The B's and H's were flying left and right,
Mm-hmm.
and how they talked about women in those songs, and the fact that women were playing those songs. So it could, for a young mind. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
going to talk about a mature person, but for a young mind,
Yes.
that could affect how you view people,
Mm-hmm.
or especially women, because that's what we was referring to.
Mm-hmm.
And so at that point, like, why should I do something meaningful if they gonna be H's and B's,
Mm-hmm.
So which and hence all women could be the same. So I see what you're saying,
Yeah.
you know. So those are multiple factors that could keep a person from having a fulfilling or meaningful relationship because you're going into it with a wrong mindset.
Yeah.
And when you go into a wrong mindset, you know, like a cold or a flu, it can spread. Not like
Yeah.
I always tell people when a damaged person dates another person, that the one that's being dated is going to be damaged too.
Yeah. especially if they sit there and allow that to fluster and not either escape from this situation or even try to let the person be aware of the damage that they're doing. You can't just
Yeah.
sit there and take it and then expect for it to change on its own.
Right. So I understand all that, but this is what I'm saying. These are things that, yeah, that's like they say, it's a me problem. It's not a them problem.
Hmm.
When all women are the same and all that, that's a me problem.
It is.
You're not having your eyes wide open. You squinting, or you need glasses. You're not seeing things clearly,
Yeah.
and potentially missing out. If you desire a relationship, you're potentially missing out on what a good person or a good partner for you is.
Yeah, and I think the cop out way is to accept the excuse and say all women are the same. That's a cop out. You're not even trying to grow within the person themselves. You're just saying, okay, I'm going to accept what's given to me and ride with it, and therefore I will always have this excuse as to why I can't be great because I think all women are the same.
Yeah, you said cop out.
That's a cop out, man.
Yeah, being scared. I got you.
Yeah, yeah,
Being a punk. I got you.
yeah. Now let me hit you with something else. You got 99 problems. If your relationship one, then financial pressure and roles got to be two. How we deal with
Ooh.
financial expectations. We can go from it from a traditional standpoint, or we can look at it in modern terms. From a traditional standpoint, men are supposed to support the household, right? Men are supposed to quote unquote bring home the bacon. They're supposed to be the provider, the one who ensures things are available for the family, for the couple, for the kids, whomever's involved. And that can affect a relationship if you look at it from modern terminology, because we from the old school, we understand these values and we just kind of maneuver them and navigate them and make them work for us in 2024. But if you look at the new age of guys coming up at a younger age and then becoming men, their view on relationships and finances can have a big difference for a society of men. When women look at men and say all men ain't shit, could they be saying that for all men, or are they looking at a aspect of men that has a different view on financial roles and pressures?
That was a lot, man. My ADD kicked in for a second. All right.
Trying to get you ready, sir. Trying to get you
Uh,
ready here.
yeah. So the financial pressures, yes. When you're trying the traditional world, financial pressures. I'm not gonna say just a traditional role. Just in a financial period can be very stressful, especially if you have the mindset of I want to make sure the household is good.
Hmm.
Um, a lot of men have can actually stress themselves into a heart attack over taking care of a household. You know, that is so deep. I can go different ways with it. The fact that even money, because you can't survive without money. This is not 1928 where you can go. I could be low on money, but I can still grow some crops and have a couple of some cattle in the backyard. At least we
Yeah.
can slaughter a pig or a hog or a cow or something,
Hmm.
kill a chicken. But we don't have that option anymore.
Yeah.
So if I'm broke, we don't eat. If you go traditional route,
Hmm.
even in the non-traditional route where you have a two income family, is if something goes wrong, I gotta make something happen.
Hmm.
That sits heavy on your shoulders. One, and depending on your mentality of at all costs, everything lands on me. Everything falls on my plate,
Mm-hmm.
right or wrong. She can make twice as much money as you do, but ultimately you got a mentality like, hey, I still gotta make this household run.
Yeah.
One of the things I used to always do, especially when I'm dating, it was a while. I used to always pay, no matter what. If we go, even she said, let's go here. If I didn't have the money, or I try to make, like even I was low money, I didn't never say no.
Yeah.
I didn't want to have give that false image of being broke. And that's another thing, being the apprehension of feeling that you don't look like you have any money.
Yeah.
You know, how many times have you heard a woman call a dude or talk about a dude as a broke ass N word?
Usually in an argument or something, but
Or when they're talking about him, there's
oh yeah, yeah.
yeah, you know,
Because if you think about what you're saying, when women are looking for a mate, they want to look at someone who not necessarily is throwing money or flashing money. Well, they want to look at somebody who looks like they may have something, some financial stability. If you come in there with some $2 shoes on, dirty socks, and you ain't washed your pants in a couple of weeks, you may be having sitting on $1 million unless you're trying to, make some type of point.
we can't
You
afford
may not
soap.
get, you're not gonna get looked at first. You know what I mean? Until you get somebody to have a conversation with, and you probably can convince them in.
Yeah, but the positive thing on this is that we gotta put a spin on it.
Yeah,
One, if you're dating, be comfortable who you are and where you're at in life. If you're trying to achieve more, go ahead and keep striving to achieve more. And it's all right to let the person you date know that that's where you're headed. That's one. Another mistake I make, um, you know, to communicate. Just say this isn't above my means at this moment.
you make a good point there because at what point would you tell a female that you're interested in that this is above my means? Because do you wait till you're on the date? Do you tell her before a situation occurs that she's expecting um, you to financially back her in a situation? Because that's the advice. I'm asking the question: what advice would you give a man who feels financial security or pressure to meet certain standards in a relationship? You started off with saying that,
I got you.
yeah, yeah, because
First
that's
of
very
all,
important.
first no, as I'm getting older, getting wiser, know what I would do.
Mm-hmm.
You set the tone of the date. You establish the dates in the beginning, and
Mm-hmm.
again, in this process of getting to know this potential, you're setting the tone. You're setting the dates. You're setting the when, where, why, and how,
Yeah,
and those are within your means and what you're capable of.
yeah,
Now she knows she. I would gather she can say, okay, this is his baseline, and if she chooses to say, hey, let's do this or this whatever, at that point in time, people like, okay, this is not where I'm at. Because
yeah.
by this time you don't have a few dates under your belt, and you're talking like, okay, we're getting real candid. I don't know if that's the right word, but you're getting real serious about these conversations.
You are correct.
Yeah,
That
so
is very important. Very important. Because it's not common. Uh, but you may have been in a situation where you experienced where you are going to pay for a meal or on a date or just doing something, and the woman takes care of the bill unexpectedly. How does that make you feel? I mean, some people say it makes you feel less than a man. A man should never allow a woman
shit,
to pay. But if she beats
shit.
you, you turn your back or something, she already gave the waiter to, take care of the tab. Does that make you feel any financial insecurities? Or they make you feel any
Uh,
less?
no. So I know. So
Okay.
this is me personally speaking.
Hmm.
I will always try to pay, but she was insistent, and I let her pay. It doesn't make me feel like less of a man. Or even if I didn't have it, she let me take you out. I think is a compliment. To
Okay.
me, that's showing her willingness to work with you.
Okay.
That it should be to me, that should be a attribute on her behalf. Say for her to look at you in a well enough light to say, "I'm going to pay for this."
Mm-hmm.
To me that is a sign of a partner.
That's a keeper.
Yeah, a possibility. I ain't gonna never say she not. I ain't gonna.
Yeah.
We know we gotta look for more signals, but
Yeah. Yeah.
it's to me it's a good attribute. Even though the offer, like me, an offer it means a lot.
Yeah.
You
Because she
know,
could do the opposite and run up a tab, and you look in the bill, it's $300-400, and you like, oh, I don't expect it to pay, $150 tonight. It's $600-700. You're like, oh shit.
I ain't trying to be funny. I'd be like that dude on. I'm just joking, but I say this, I'll be like that lady who's on going viral about she went on a date and
Yeah.
she ordered all this and all he had was he had one drink.
Yeah.
He just left $100 on the table and they said, "I'm going to the bathroom." he never he dipped off on her.
That was it.
Yeah.
That's, that's funny. But to 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 tie up this conversation, how can couples manage financials together in a healthy way?
Oh, simple. So first of all, we can't conversation, you know, and we have to get put back as a guy, put back, kind of put the ego aside a little bit, which I still have a tough time doing.
Mhm.
Just saying, this is what we making, this is what we got, make budget, if you're at to that point where you're in a relationship and you're talking financials, you're
Mhm.
talking long term.
Yeah.
And long term, they need to your partner needs to know which what we working with. You know what I'm saying? It's funny. My dad it's a joke, but and it's kind of true. He would carry two wallets. Yeah. Sometimes he'll say, "I ain't got no money," and open the wallet that had really nothing in it. Another one, I have have a gang of money in it.
Wow. That's interesting.
You know. So then that's another thing we need to. I'm going to touch on something real quick. That's another thing we need to kind of disparage some of the old school mindsets. I'm gonna tell you. So one of the things that should be told to me by men and a woman aunt I had. Well, she not had. She's still alive. But her aunt told me all women got money. A lot of women keep money and hide it and sit aside. So if they say they don't got money, they got money.
Is that, not to go deep into that, but is that an issue if a man hides his money?
Yes,
How so? When a woman's hiding her money, you just said it.
I'm just saying. I ain't saying neither one was right. I didn't say that. I said
Maybe we say that for the new
no,
year.
we're gonna touch it on.
Because
Stay right there. Park
yeah,
that shit.
okay, yeah, okay.
So I'm just saying. What I was saying, that's an old school belief. Not all women are hiding money. That was just a myth.
Yeah, but from old school beliefs, from smoke there's fire. A woman takes the man's money in a relationship and she says, I'm gonna take care of the finances, then she puts something to the side for herself. She takes care of the finances, bills are paid, house paid. If it's a type of man who gives his check to his wife because she lets her do that.
Now,
But
so
when
now
she's
I'm with
putting
you.
something to the side,
So,
rainy day or not, it just, when a
so
man does
I
that,
don't, I
why is
don't, I
that?
don't. So, if she does that and I know about it, we cool. If she does that, did not know about it for like a Christmas for a gift from me, cool. If she does it and just not just I'm just so it's for the benefit of everybody, I might even still be cool because sometimes maybe the guys got maybe I'm not the best financial person. I don't want to be tempted to say, hey, touch
Yeah,
that rainy day fund.
yeah,
Now, if
right.
she's doing now, what I do have a problem with, if he or she is doing it as a possible escape plan, now we got an issue. If I'm not doing anything abusive that's harmful to you, and I'm trying to do everything I can. Now you hiding money to so you can do a escape plan. That means I would feel that you're not in it all the way.
Yeah, that's definitely untrustworthy in that situation.
And so this is another a possible when that my relationship problem is one. Like that this so this is one of the ones I had I
Hmm.
thought about earlier is a trust.
Mm.
We can say we can't trust the person you want to date or the person a woman or whatever. I can't trust them. I can't. And and relationship is based on trust. But if I can't trust you, how can I be that way? If I'm in a relationship with you and I don't trust you, how can I be in a successful relationship with you?
How can you be in a relationship at all?
Exactly. So trust.
Hmm.
I
Okay.
can't. You know. So I'm gonna park right there on trust for a minute. I'm
Okay.
kind of going out of order a little bit. I'm gonna get you. So
No, it's cool. Cool.
let's trust. Let's what comes with what's another level of trust besides money? Infidelity. If I can't trust you, no, that you're not going to cheat on me, that's going to put stress on me. Now, is that trust founded in truth? That's a whole nother subject. But
Hmm.
we gotta figure out if my problem in this relationship or is trust. We gotta find out the root cause. Is it
Hmm.
something that I did in the past and I'm broadcasting it on you? No, putting in like, okay, I did it, so she's probably doing it too, and
Yeah.
vice versa. Or is it happened to me, so you gonna do it too?
Not healing from a previous relationship.
Exactly. So
And
trust.
that person is not trusting you enough to give their all. So therefore, they are putting this money to a side account. It may not even be to bail. It's just the fact they don't trust because of not healing or a previous situation that caused a trauma. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And that needs to be talked about, brought to the front, and discussed, maybe even on a higher level, like with a therapist. Not necessarily saying that when you're talking with your mate that doesn't help, but if it's something of severity beyond talking with your mate, you may need to bring in uh, some additional help.
Yeah. A distrust is heavy on your shoulders, like financials.
Mm-hmm.
Distrust is heavy too. Worrying
Yes.
about this and worry about that because you're not trusting
Mm-hmm.
who you're with.
Yeah.
So, but like you were saying, the way we kind of combat that is one through healing. Maybe some couples therapy, maybe some real conversations that you need to have with your partner,
Mm-hmm.
and expressing what you feel and why you feel it, maybe,
Yeah.
and come to terms why you feel it.
Could that trust be pertaining to she doesn't understand me or I don't understand her?
Bingo, that is a hell of a one.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Kia McLean, the poet, says, "You know what I got."
Hmm.
So, hell of a statement.
Yeah,
Hell of a statement.
yeah. Cause what's in her account is in my account.
Cause
She
you're
can get whatever I got, and I get whatever she got. That's
there. You go. There you go. That's that trust.
mm-hmm.
Unbreakable communication between partners. So, if there is a sense of distrust or mistrust, you can open that dialect with communication between the partners. Because if you don't understand me or I don't understand you, then there is not enough discussion that has been had to lay foundation for understanding. Once you get that cleared, you can have more sense of trust or trustworthiness depending on the situation. Maybe this person may not be the best person to handle finances. Therefore, take that pressure off of them and put it into a different means. So, therefore, that trust can be restored in that situation if you feel that there may be some mishandling or misjudgment, misplacement in that aspect. If it's pertaining to infidelity, then that's a whole different discussion that needs to be had to determine what is causing this? Is this a person who feels like they're not being satisfied at home, or does a person feel like they have something they have to go desire outside of the household? Those need to be communicated and hashed out real deeply, because you can't sit there and expect for a change if there is no change to even make the change.
Right.
Not going to happen in the ether.
You're right. And so you're exactly right. And another thing I want to add into that is I experienced this. I had friends who experienced this. Men communicate differently sometimes, and women communicate like in their own way.
Yeah.
Like we speak Spanish, they speak French.
Hmm.
You know, they may just say hypothetically they may be more verbal. You may be more action oriented. My
Hmm.
act, for a lot of my years in life, my way of showing love is by action alone,
Hmm.
not with my mouth. Action alone, and they don't understand. And they like, what?
Okay.
What you mean? What you mean? I don't fucking love? I'm doing this. I'm doing that. I'm
There you
taking
go.
care of this. I'm taking
Yes.
you out. I'm doing this. What do you mean? I don't love you?
Yeah.
Well, you're not telling it to me. Then she
Okay.
may require it that way, or what you assuming is being communicated across is not. What's communication? A transmit and a receive, right?
Hmm.
What you're transmitting may not be received.
In that same aspect.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
if we think about the traditional roles, a man says, well, I take care of the house, or you got a roof over your head, your dad may have
Yes,
told you this. But the child may say, Dad, you never told me you love me. But, take care, you got food on the table, you got clothes on your back. What do you mean you don't love you? The child is looking for something to signify that bond other than what is being had or what is being done. Because yes, you can see, maybe he don't even see it, but you can understand that this comes from somewhere, right? You've got a roof, you got clothes, you got food that comes from somewhere, but sometimes just the words brings power. It brings that emotional connection. It makes the family bond even stronger.
right. It's that way. We thinking that was going just by doing those things that's required as a
Yeah.
almost non-verbal requirements. You think that's enough. That's how you teach them to be a man or whatever. Why I'm thinking about that, the Denzel Washington and picket fences when he's talking to his son.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if we do that, we're just machines. If there is no communication, if there's no conversation that brings emotional connection, you separate yourself from the rest by doing that to get that understanding.
Yeah, and when that miscommunication kicks in, that is a stressor. That is a stressor. It really is, and it makes you don't want. Sometimes that misunderstanding of what you think is enough, or even going above and beyond, is not being received at you had as you wanted to receive. You get really frustrated and get mad. You be like, and sometimes you be like, "F this," because it gets that hard.
You want to know why it gets that hard?
What? Talk to
Let
me,
me, let me give
grasshopper.
you, let me give you an explanation. When I was younger, I had a fear. This is part of my introvertedness. I had a fear of being in front of people, speaking in front of people. You get up there in front of a class and they tell you to recite ABCs. You get up there, you start sweating profusely. You'll never know why, right? You get older, high school, these girls over there, class dance. You too afraid to go ask them to dance, right? Prom, whatever it may be. You get older, you get into a corporation. I remember I would get asked to do presentations in front of the group, and I was just nervous, losing it. It's just like, I don't understand. Why am I falling apart in front of people? But, we sit here and have a sidebar conversation. I'm fine. Even in a relationship that was still happening, because someone's telling you to express yourself and you've never gotten outside of that zone to understand what was holding you back or holding myself back. So it was until I got into the corporate world in my mid 20s that I started to understand that this is what's causing the problem. I'm having a fear of speaking in front of people or just even speaking directly to people. We can have a sidebar conversation because there's no pressure. So I started getting into repetition of just talking amongst myself in front of the mirror, like reciting poetry. That's when I really got into the poetry, and then getting in front of people and doing that, even though there's still a bit of nervousness, I had to try to somehow break the mold. And even my younger days of relationships, there was always a lack of communication because of that. And I had to break that awareness. Somebody had to bring the awareness. It was pointed out. It's still being pointed out, which is great because that means I'm not a finished product, right? But at least I know what was causing this fear of not me wanting to communicate or me not wanting to communicate or what was causing this anxiety I felt when I'm getting in front of people. It's because of the fact from a youthful age, it was almost like pressured me without an explanation or understanding or being coached through the process. I remember I was like 8, 9 years old. My mom bought me a Michael Jackson jacket and would make me go dance in front of my friends. And I never danced her. I didn't even like it, but she would make me do it without giving me comfort. So it was always that fear factor that built up at that young age that I carried through life until I started understanding it. And now I'm able to deal with it and find means of coping with it, and then being able to release some of that anxiety and be good in a situation. Not always great, but be good enough to that I can always improve and hopefully get better as I continue. Because it's a hard struggle, man. It's
So
introvertedness is not nice.
I'm there. I do my introvert thing. I was thinking of a story about happened to me some time ago when I was a teenager. Well, preteen, puberty kicked in, but I'm not gonna go there. We got time for that shit. But to your example, we have,
Shannon Sharp.
we ain't gonna get to this. Puberty's a motherfucker. Um, but as from a man point of view, we have to make that adjustment and figure out how can we, communicate. If I'm speaking Spanish, she's speaking French. How can we both speak Chinese?
Yeah,
Because what happens is it's gonna stress you out.
hmm
And if so happen, if heaven forbid you break up, you blame it all on her because she said you wasn't. I was doing everything, but she said I wasn't.
you'd be like, all women the same.
Yeah, all women are the same.
Uh,
They don't appreciate shit.
yeah, just finding a cop out at that point.
Exactly. So this is where we got. So basically, you just have to pull back and listen to what she's saying. Which like I said, I had to struggle with that one. Listen to what she's saying. Listen to her requirement, and we can go back to our five love language segment months ago. Those things like that, we listen to those.
Mhm.
We can maybe that Chinese would be a little bit easier, or that French would be a little bit easier. And now
Yeah,
you understand where she's coming from, and as she listens and hears your side, she can understand where you're coming from. Maybe she can
yeah,
speak a little bit more Spanish
yeah,
because she can understand. Okay, that's his method. That's his way of saying I love you. He's, like GI Joe, a man of action.
yeah. A lot of action.
Yeah,
Yeah, 'cause, you're making some good points there. Because of the fact that men are tend to be nonverbal at times, we can
tend
we
to be.
can well we
We
majority
all
of the
ain't.
time we
We
are.
all ain't poets, dog.
Yeah,
Hmm.
even being a poet, it's just even to get into your thought, you got to be nonverbal, just thinking about it, right? You're not always speaking it out loud. But let's try to hit this next segment here. Finding fulfillments in relationships.
What you mean by that? Talk to me.
What does relationship fulfillment look like for men today versus past generation fulfillment? And when I say fulfillment, we we tend to think our only job is to be a provider, right? Just make sure the lights are on, make sure there's food on the table. There are other relationship fulfillments we like to reach our goals, and it's time for men to let women know what we like to accomplish. We like some balance. We like some structure. We like some tidiness. We like to be able to do plans and ideas that are within our desires, not necessarily we're always following what you plan out. Maybe not always having a lavish events, but having quiet getaways. Maybe that's something we like to fulfill. Uh, that quiet time. Everything doesn't have to be a party. We don't always have to have 55 people over for a birthday gathering. Fulfillments we like to get is getting our finding our intimate touch within each other non-verbally. It doesn't always have to be discussed. It's more of that quiet zone that you can feel and seek your way around without asking or being a burdensome when we get to that moment in life. From past generations, it was always, I feel like, just going back to my granddad and my dad, you were only going to be a provider for necessity items. Now it's time to take that beyond that. We got the necessity items taken care of. We want some luxury with that too. We want some blue suede shoes to be bought instead of these house slippers every Christmas. You know what I mean? We're making
Okay,
demands around here.
all right, Elvis.
We want some Jordans on Christmas. I'm tired of these socks and drawers, man. You buy me another sock and drawers, it's gonna be on.
So I get where you're coming from. Um, because a couple of things it come to mind.
Mhm.
Support what I'm trying to do. That's going to help to fulfill me. If I'm pursuing a dream, hold me up. If I'm busting my ass, the gift or appreciation of what something something that I would love to have. Not like I
Mhm.
said, socks and drawers. Even though don't get it twisted. I'm 48 years old. Socks and drawers is high on the list of gifts to get me from my lady because I don't like to buy them. But what these are things like say, okay, oh he's into model cars. Go get me a model car. You know what I like. A lot of time, your partner studies you and knows everything, a lot of things about you,
Mhm.
and we have to, act on it. Don't fall into that rut. You know, like, hey, it's Christmas time. What you get your wife? A vacuum cleaner.
Dude, you get that thing thrown at you, man.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying?
A vacuum cleaner. You ain't put no thought into
It's
that.
yeah. So that's what I'm getting at. So yeah, that's to me that's a fulfillment. And just the support, and even in the the fulfillment of emotional fulfillment. Like, baby, I appreciate you, baby. You doing good. Hey, I see I see you.
Yeah,
I see you, baby.
we like emotional support too. We want to be told when we're doing a good job. We like to pat on the back. Uh, those are very great points of topic relation and pertaining to this because you brought up a good thing here. I was looking at it fulfillment different than you're looking at it, but you're saying being there to support you in your dreams and aspirations. There's no bigger fulfillment than to have someone there to support you through it, right? That will take you beyond what your limitations are because they will make sure that you reach your goals. They're not going to let you fall, right? It's came too far to fall.
Exactly. All right. So Before we go any farther, I want to shoot out to everybody out there. A couple things. Let me put something up here real quick. We're going to the on the spot segment. I want so people out there watching. This is our segment where you can ask us any question about today's topic or previous topic or anything. Just put it in the chat, and we'll answer it honestly, candidly, and we'll give you our experience and our thoughts on it. Also, we're this is our last live for the year. We're gonna take a holiday break. When we come back next year, we come back stronger. We come back to do more topics.
Mhm.
Make sure, but don't get it twisted. Now, keep sending us your ideas. As we putting things together for 2025, we'll look on it, touch on them, and keep pushing. And most of all, share share these episodes. Have them subscribe to the YouTube page, or the Instagram, but we prefer YouTube. You can see
Mhm.
everything in video, or it's a podcast. If you want, you can listen to us into the car. We on your Apple Podcast, Spotify Podcast, all of those. Just look for us. Data Affirm the Real. Just look for the blue and that symbol there.
There you go.
All right. So while we wait for the on the spot segment, see if anybody's out there who want to shoot a question out there or anything. There's a bonus one I want to talk about for today's topic.
Sure. Kia McLean, the poet, says all she wants is candles, lifetime of candles, sir.
Oh yeah. If she ain't burn the candle, she ain't happy. And what she do, because she's very respectful of me. She put him somewhere where my clumsy ass can't knock him over.
We need no house fires around here, man.
Yeah, no. So
Sometimes we need that extra spark in our life, but we don't need no fire.
yeah, no. No fire marshal Bill around here. All right. So,
What bonus discussion you had for us, sir?
all right. Another one we could have. This a bonus one is dun 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 dun. That sex. That sexual healing.
Look, Marvin Gaye.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's talk about if you're the apprehension going to a relationship. One is the things that but sex life is going to change. She ain't gonna give it to me. We ain't gonna be doing it like we used to do it. You know, that's when you're going into it. The fear, because now you're thinking, because what a guy gonna think is, oh, she giving it to me like this now, because she think I can go somewhere else and get it. But if I'm in a relationship with her, she thinks I'm all hers. Now she can throttle back. Yeah, guys think that way. Now I'm gonna give you another one. In a relationship, if the sex is less frequent, the guy always has that problem. She ain't gonna give me none. She don't give me none. This, and that. Or if she don't give it to me, I'm gonna get it some favorite one you hear. I can get it somewhere else. A true story. This is a funny story. This was one of my old best friends. Man, he used to always complain about, man, she don't never give me no sex. She don't never give me no sex. Man, we don't never do it. And so he would cheat. But he always talk about how he love his wife, but he go cheat. And one day I found out she was giving him sex. His ass was just a motherfucking horn dog.
Oh. Meaning?
Yeah, so that's
because,
like, damn. What's that?
Yeah, the appetite for destruction. I mean,
yeah. So sometimes you guys gotta do a self check. Like, oh no, wait a minute, he was just a sex addict or something. I don't know. I said, man, go on with that shit now. All these years I'm listening to you about she ain't giving you nothing. Your ass been exaggerating the whole time. Or he just like
that's a difficult one. That's a difficult one. because you're asking the question, will the sex change? Will your sex life change? I feel it will change as we get older. It will change for men because of the fact our testosterone levels will not be as high it is as it was when we were in our prime. Not saying that we can't do it, it's just that it's a natural course of life. So, in order to ensure that we can get back to what we uh, feel is a sense of normalcy, we have to find means to stay in shape and have a healthy diet that will help you sustain a healthy sex life. Because you can spark it up. You can put on that red teddy. You can put on Teddy Pendergrass. You can eat Teddy Grams, whatever you want to do. But you have not only those are just things outside of what you can do within yourself. You still have to ensure that your body can sustain that because you, like you said, your old man said he had a appetite that she probably couldn't handle. At the same time, the man can have a situation where 2 3 minutes and that's all he got, and he's tap out. He just it's it.
Yeah.
It's flat. So
Hold on. Yeah. So have you ever gave your little man a pep talk? Like, come on, man, you can do it. Come on,
it ain't never
stay up, come
failed
on.
me. It ain't never failed me.
Oh, stop lying.
Hey, it ain't never failed
Don't
me.
don't you gotta be.
Well, I take that back. I don't know if I want to put this on air, man. I'll tell you after the show, but I'm not putting that on air. That's a little bit more personal. But yeah, it I would say 95% of the time it has never failed me, but there was a situation where it did, and I just had to have that pep talk next morning. I was like, "Dog, you embarrassed me, dog."
Hey man, it is what it is.
Yeah, but that's important because do you expect your sex life to change after entering a relationship? I would say yes, because of we have jobs, we have obligations, we have duties, we have responsibilities. There's times of day, there's moods, there's situations, and it may not be able to go at it like we may have when we was younger, or even just understanding your partner and what they like. It may not be something you want to do every night. It could be something once a week, once a month, hey, once a year, whatever floats your boat, right? You have to understand your partner and what benefits them
Right. You
and what turns them on and the desires they have.
yeah, you're exactly right. So that goes both sides. So Kid McLean the poet got the on the spot question,
Hmm.
comment. You know I ain't gonna read it. Go ahead.
All right. On the spot, has fear prevented you from experiencing a great relationship or potentially good relationship? Has fear been a problem to this extent in the past?
Ooh shit.
Ooh, shit. She just ran us over with a truck. Wow. You didn't take a stab at it. Yes, fear has prevented me from having a great relationship in the past. Fear due from several issues. One of them being uh, financial pressures, because you feel like this woman is great, this woman is beautiful. I'm not able to give her what she desires, what she needs, because I'm at this level and she's at this level. We have the greatest time together, but for the level that I was at in life, there is no way I can give her that and still be able to sustain financially. It was very hard that the relationship had to be cut off because of my fear. I could have, reflecting back now, I could have played it a different way. And I think that was due to lack of understanding because when sometimes you're put in a situation where you have to make a decision, make decisions based on what you know at the time. I can't say 15 years later I would make the same decision because 15 years later I have a different set of knowledge and understanding that you could apply. But 35, 40, that decision was made at that time and it was based on fear that prevented what could have been a different outcome of life. But when the decision is made, I don't regret it, and I don't look back as being negative. It was a decision that was made. We each decided to go separate ways. A person becomes who they are. You become who you are. It was a learning experience. I would definitely say that much. And so fear can definitely prevent you from achieving greatness, and something I have to understand in life and try not let it limit my ability to achieve whatever it may be, whether it be a job or relationship or something that I'm attempting to acquire. Fear cannot be the one that limits me.
So the thing that limited me the most in the past was my self esteem. That was self esteem probably prevented me from having great relationships. Um, Insecurities, like you said, financial prevented me, but most so self esteem. Thinking she's not in my league, or she don't want somebody of my fluffy stature. Um, those are probably the worst, or how I communicate. Sometimes as you all know, sometimes I speak a little fast and my words get jumbled.
Mm-hmm.
Those are things that those are kinds of fears I would have when maybe for experiencing a great relationship or potentially good relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Once I was able to overcome some of those, and then I would say always overcome. Once I was able to minimize some of those insecurities, I was able to start moving forward, make headway.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was my biggest one. If I can get rid of all those insecurities, I might, which I'm lucky. Let me put the asterisk by this. I'm lucky those things didn't happen in my past, where those potentially great good relationships, because I might have missed out what I got now.
Mm.
But those things in the past built me up for my future.
There you go.
So yeah, mine financially you might have been yelled, but mine was just insecurities. And those also lead to thinking about finances, like, oh, she make too much. She probably make more than I do. She ain't gonna deal with somebody who make the money like this.
Mm.
Those insecurities. So that's my take.
Hey man, don't be down on yourself because it's cuffing season and big mans are in demand. So we are a what you call it, a commodity right about now, man.
We're snuggle buddies.
But you makes a good interesting point there, that because this is I do agree with everything you just said, because what we've done in our past is what makes us be able to achieve what we're doing now and those life experiences. And it's kind of hard to say because we can't change what was done, but it's hard to say if I would have stepped left instead of right on March 25th, 1998, your life would have went around down this path. It's kind of hard to say that, right?
You're right.
I would have made a left turn at the light, and she turned right. Then I missed, the love of my life at that point. Who's to say that,
Yeah.
But we have
So
to live in the now, right?
right, the butterfly effects.
Yeah, yeah. There you
So
go. Because
I'm with you. So I love my life now. I love my imperfect life now.
there you go. That's a good
So
point. It's imperfect, and you still loving it.
yeah. So I'm like I said, but like I said, I still have some. I do have my insecurities. What they may be. The world may never know. But But at the same time, I'm learning to overcome it. At the very least, minimize it. And with that being said, I think we've been here over an hour now, Don.
Yeah.
I, at the end of the day, it's the last one for 2024.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna close this one out with a great 2024. But I still say I may just surprise y'all and pop up with a live for no reason because
There you go.
I may have some stuff on my chest I need to get off.
He says, "Say it with your chest."
Yeah. So
With that, let me give a bit of advice from my book here, Afterthoughts of an Epiphany, and I thought it was appropriate for closing out 2024 and even the discussion that we're having tonight. And the title of this piece is called Timeless. And it's a short quote. It's something that resonated in your mind. It's not a poetry, but I want to read it so that you can understand. What happens throughout time is beyond your control. What you do with your time is within yours. So take that thought, put it to good use.
mm,
And
that's
with that,
that's deep.
yes, sir.
So make me want to have a quote.
Yeah.
Yeah. Be true to yourself. Be kind to others.
Mm-hmm.
Let life and do what you do. I don't
There you
know. I'm
go.
just trying to
There you
make up
go.
some shit.
That's all right. Something you're gonna put on a Saturday, man. Come on, man. Thoughts, affirmation, and coffee. You gotta get at that. Put your gray sweatpants on. Go out there with your cigar and get your coffee, man. And watch how many views you get.
My gray
Get a
sweatpants,
thousand likes.
my gray sweatpants are like some leggings or jeggings or something.
Say leggings. Come on, man. We ain't having that, sir. We didn't wear nothing tight. Come on, man. This ain't no
Oh, yeah. I'm at home.
Debo
I
Samuel,
can,
man.
first of all, I can wear something tight if I'm at home. But anyway, uh, I'm Marcus Goodwin,
And I am Don, aka Junior Lilly,
and we'll see you in the future.
2025. Peace.